Hello to all. Let me start by thanking the organizers of the GCFI conference for affording me the opportunity to make this presentation. My name is Julian Walcott, and I am the Technical Officer at the Caribbean Protected Areas Gateway, or CPAG for short. CPAG is an online regional information and resource hub whose mission is to improve the long-term conservation and sustainable use of natural resources by reinforcing the management and governance of protected and conserved areas. We aim to achieve this by providing access to accurate, up-to-date, and pertinent data related to protected and conserved areas, by providing crucial tools such as data and mapping and services to stakeholders and practitioners, and by enhancing and building capacities and fostering collaborations, partnerships, and networking. CPAG is born out of the Biodiversity and Protected Areas Management Program, which is an initiative of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, financed by the European Union. It is hosted by the University of the West Indies and is housed at the Cayfield campus in Barbados. We work with these 15 ACP countries throughout the region. One of our key areas of focus throughout the past few years has been improving the management of protected areas by building and enhancing capacities in the area of protected area management effectiveness assessments, or PAME assessments. In 2018, a regional workshop was held to build awareness, and a number of national follow-up workshops followed where protected area staff and agencies were trained to conduct PAME assessments. CPAG was thus able to build capacity and facilitate assessments in Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The insights presented today are thus a combination of data extracted from two global knowledge products, the World Database on Protected Areas, WDPA, and the Global Database on Protected Areas Management Effectiveness, WDPA, both of which are managed by the World Conservation Monitoring Center, and from 7 PAME assessments of MPAs facilitated by CPAG. The Caribbean ACP countries have a total marine and coastal area of just over 2 million kilometers squared. Established MPAs have been steadily increasing over the past 2 decades, and at present there are a total of 210 MPAs covering just over 100,000 kilometers squared and equating to a 5% MPA coverage of our marine and coastal area. With respect to the WDPA, the key elements reported for management are the IUCN management category, governance type, management plan, and the presence or absence of no-take zones. The majority of established MPAs are Category 4 protected areas, which represent habitat or species management areas, which have a primary objective of maintaining, conserving, and restoring species and habitats. Of note is the fact that the IUCN management category is not reported for 1/4 of the established MPAs, and thus highlights the need for better reporting. The governance type describes the entity responsible and accountable for making decisions about how a protected area is managed. For the majority of MPAs, this responsibility falls onto federal or national ministries or agencies. Not many MPAs utilize a collaborative or joint approach to governance, and very few are governed by local communities. Once again, the governance type is not reported for a significant number of MPAs. With respect to management plan, this is a document which sets out the management approach and goals, together with a framework for decision-making to apply over a given period of time. Based on the data within the WDPA, it is hard to gain meaningful insights because the information is generally unreported, and the presence of a management plan does not speak to whether or not it is up to date or outdated, and whether it is or is not implemented. No-take areas represent the highest level of protection afforded within the marine environment. Once again, it is hard to gain meaningful insights because the information within the WDPA, data only exists for 10 out of the 15 Caribbean ACP countries. This either shows that no PAME assessments have been conducted for the MPAs in these countries, or that any conducted have not been reported and entered into the global database. Similar to growth in MPAs, the total number of assessments has been steadily increasing over the past 2 decades. But unfortunately, approximately 2/3 of established MPAs have not undergone any management effectiveness assessments, or if they did, they have not been reported and entered into the WDPA. In order to get a better handle on the management of our MPAs, we need more MPA and MPA networks to undergo assessments. However, undergoing an assessment only creates a baseline for which to compare to. Each assessment acts as a snapshot of the management situation at the time of assessment and thus requires repeat assessments to allow for comparison and monitoring of changes in management of the MPA. Unfortunately, the vast majority of MPAs have only undergone one assessment and thus highlights the need for more repeat assessments to be undertaken. PAME assessments are based on an overall framework which was published in 2000 by the IUCN's World Commission on Protected Areas. The framework is based on the idea that good protected area management follows a process that has 6 distinct stages or elements which take into account the design and planning, the adequacy and appropriateness, and the delivery of the protected area. Based on the assessments facilitated by CPAG, the mean scores for each element out of a total of 100% are shown and highlights the need for improvement and greater emphasis in the areas of inputs, process, outputs, and outcome elements if we want to improve management of our MPAs. Overall, some of the key areas constraining effective management are current design of MPAs, which oftentimes does not cater for large-scale ecological processes. Staff members are usually inadequate or below optimum level for critical management activities. For many MPAs, the available budget is inadequate for basic management needs and presents a serious constraint to the capacity to manage the MPA. For many MPAs, management plans exist, but they are either outdated or only partially implemented because of funding constraints or other problems. Demarcation of MPA boundaries also pose a constraint due to the fact that in some cases, the boundaries are known by management authorities, but not by local residents or neighboring land users. And in other cases, the boundaries are known, but simply are not appropriately demarcated. And of course, management is constrained by a lack of accurate and pertinent data, which hinders the decision-making process and weakens policy formulation. So some of the key steps to take going forward thus includes increased access to critical resources, in particular human and financial resources, along with the equipment and facilities needed, which without effective management would not be achieved. It also needs the movement away from single sector management to multi-sectorial management and the incorporation of approaches such as ecosystem-based management and marine spatial planning. The critical decisions and the formulation of effective policies require access to accurate, up-to-date data, which provides more quality and context. As management is an iterative process, improvement in management requires repeat assessments to be able to continually chart a meaningful way forward. These assessments should just be integrated into work plans for MPAs. Management plans need to be periodically updated and implemented. And of course, better reporting needs to occur at site, national, regional, and international levels. CPAG is also working to improve management of our MPAs by collaborating and partnering with regional MPA networks, such as the Caribbean Marine Protected Areas Network, to deliver their training of trainers program for MPA managers in 2018. We helped to co-host the MPA session at GCFI 72 in 2019 by helping to design and erect signage to better demarcate MPA boundaries, and more recently through the development of a Protected Area Management Effectiveness Assessment Report Card to allow for better assimilation and understanding of the results of the assessment. To learn more about the work of CPAG, please visit our website and follow us via our various social media. With that, I would like to thank you for your time and attention.